Hello and welcome to another Bearded Geek toy review. In today's episode we're going to be looking at the Disney Parks Luke Skywalker Red 5 X-Wing helmet, as well as also showing you some of the other things that I bought whilst I was over in Walt Disney World and Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. Stay tuned.
Report in.
Red 10 standing by.
Red 7 standing by.
Red 3 standing by.
Red 6 standing by.
Red 9 standing by.
Red 2 standing by.
Red 11 standing by.
Red 5 standing by.
Welcome back to the channel and thank you for tuning in. As I said, this video is as well as a review of the X-Wing helmet that we got over in Walt Disney World. I'm also going to show you some other stuff that I did pick up, of which we'll do more detailed reviews later. But first of all, let's have a look at this bad boy. So I just need to reach out and grab it. So this is the Luke Skywalker Red 5 X-Wing helmet. Now this is something I've had my eye on for quite some time, for the last two times that I've visited Walt Disney World. Back in 2022 when we finally went after lots of cancelled holidays due to you know what. And yeah, it was always a case of it's too big, we can't get it in a suitcase. Reluctantly last year I was so close to buying it and it was kind of like no, and then I instantly regretted not getting it as soon as I got home. So this year, obviously, we went. It was top of my list for me to find and get, and it's usually only found in one spot in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which was the Star Wars land that is in Disney Hollywood Studios, which is one of the main 4 theme parks that make up Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. So it's in like a little concession kind of like stand between Rise of the Resistance and the main part of Batuu, which is kind of like the spaceport, Black Spire's outpost. Makes up the majority of Galaxy's Edge, and that's where you'll find the life-size Millennium Falcon, which is the centerpiece of Galaxy's Edge, and really is something to behold, and I'll stick some footage in of that at some point in the video. I had this on my list, and it retails for $79.99 plus tax, so you're probably looking at a couple of dollars on top of that for tax, so probably around about $84. Now, the first day that we were there, we booked Trend. We usually go to Magic Kingdom first because it's like the traditional Disney park, and then we go to Hollywood Studios on the second day. This time we went to Hollywood Studios on the first day, and we were there. Obviously we did Star Tours, we did Muppets, and we obviously did Rise of the Resistance. We had a look around Galaxy's Edge. We got on Slinky Dog Dash, which is part of the Toy Story land, which is really, really cool. And then we stopped for some lunch, late afternoonish. And unbeknown to me, my 14-year-old lad, Zach, a bit of a tinker, said he'd gone to the toilet. So there we were, just sat in the backlot kind of like cafe, which is near Star Tours, just, having drinks, finishing off our food. And then suddenly he turned up and he handed me this. He'd gone and bought it me. And I can't tell you how touched I was. I was dumbfounded. And I'll show you a picture of what I looked like when I put the helmet on, and I looked like a kid in a sweet shop. But yeah, he kind of like said, there's that's for you. And he's like, you what? And he says, yeah, I bought it, you know. And he'd used his some of his spending money to buy me that. I didn't ask him to, but he did it as a thank you for us continually like taking him on these like cool holidays to Orlando. So absolutely, really, really touched. And here's that photo. So as you can see in that photo, yeah, I look chuffed as anything. I look absolutely, really, really, really chuffed. So this is obviously made by Disney Parks. Now, I've looked for some copyright kind of like notices in there, and there's nothing that says that it's made by anyone other by somebody for Disney. It doesn't actually say who it's made to. Now, whilst we were over there, a YouTuber friend of mine, Nick, who runs the Only One Kenobi Star Wars channel, was also on holiday there. And literally, I cannot tell you, on that first day, when we came back in that late afternoon to just chill out for a bit and go to the pool, I was literally walking to my room, and then suddenly, out of another room in the Caribbean beach resort, Nick came out of the door. And it was like, no way, hiya, you know, finally like shook hands. You know, it was great to finally meet him. And obviously we had a quick discussion about, you know, Star Wars and Disney and everything. And then we agreed to meet up at a later point during the holiday in Galaxy's Edge or on Star Tours, you know, just to do a bit of Star Wars geeky stuff. Unfortunately, weather kind of like stopped that and we weren't able to. But we were able to meet up with him whilst we were having breakfast on his final day. He went home about 4 days before us. And he was kind enough to give us some patches there for the Only One Kenobi YouTube channel that he had for us. So he gave me one, and he gave another one to my son, Zach. So thank you very much. And it was just great to finally like meet him in person. So if you've never seen his channel, it's Only One Kenobi is the name of the channel, and he does some really cool stuff. He mainly collects 3.75 inch Star Wars, which is kind of like the size of the retro collection stuff. Like, so kind of like this size. Obviously this is Stan Solo, and I think he's done a few videos on Stan Solo as well. So he does the vintage collection and also does the retro collection. But he does some really, really cool videos, so check out his channel.
This is Red 5, I'm going in.
Anyway, we had a quick discussion about whether or not like Hasbro are responsible for actually making these kind of things for Disney. And this is very, very similar to the Black Series helmet that they released years ago for Luke. And obviously they've done similar ones of other X-Wing pilots. They have those on sale at the Disney Hollywood Studios, as well as a one for Poe Dameron from the sequel trilogy, his distinctive red one, which has a more kind of like, so this comms piece coming off, it has like a piece of kind of like more plastic kind of like style coming across. So and we kind of like came to the conclusion they must be, Hasbro must be under license to make this stuff for Disney, but then obviously they put the trademark Disney Parks information on there rather than Hasbro. So that's our theory anyway. But it's a great helmet. So it's in the size of like life size. You can fit it on. I will obviously put it on in a second. And obviously the visor comes up and down. And it's got some brilliant weathering on it. Authentic to Luke's helmet that he wears throughout the original trilogy, even on the back there. And obviously it's got the distinctive Rebel Alliance insignia on both sides at the top. And it's only when we got home that I kind of like realised that this is also electronic. Bizarrely, I didn't even realise. I thought these were just standard helmets, you know, that they made. But there is a switch inside. Don't know if you can see that there. So if you click that there, and then there's a button here. Now, if you press the button, it plays dialogue from Star Wars, the original Star Wars, where they do the Death Star trench run. So I'll just press the button here to, hopefully this will pick it up.
I copy, Gold Leader. Red 6, can you see Red 5? Set the counter, Red 2.
Accelerate to attack speed.
Rendezvous at Mach 6.1. We're passing through the magnetic field.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
How cool is that? Obviously, it doesn't have any Luke dialogue because this is Luke's helmet, and you know I get it that the idea is when you've got it on, you reply with Luke's dialogue from that particular scene. But yeah, it's just amazing, and this is going to go obviously pride in place. I'm going to try and fit it in somewhere where my other Black Series Star Wars helmets are. Obviously, I have the Stormtrooper one, the Darth Vader one, the Boba Fett one, and the Mandalorian one. I'd love the Scout Trooper, which was being sold in some of the Disney stores over there that we saw. And they were also selling the Darth Vader one. They didn't have any Mandalorian Black Series helmets. They had loads of those last year. And they were like obviously $140. But with the rate of exchange, obviously, you know, it works out cheaper in pounds. So this is $80 virtually. So actually that probably works out around about 50 to 55 pounds. So for a authentic, just hit the button there. So no, for an authentic looking like X-Wing helmet, for around about 50 quid is what you're picking it up for. Obviously you've got to pay a couple of grand to go out there. But yeah, that's really, really good value, I think. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love this. I'm chuffed to bits with it. It's fantastic. I'll do another kind of like close-up video just showing you, you know, with the camera going all around. But for the meantime, let's take the old glasses off. Let's get the old chin strap down and let's stick it on the head. There you go. Visibility is great. Obviously the visor can go up as well as kind of like down. It is a little bit rigid, but I get the feeling that it will, you know, obviously, you know, move around a bit more, or it's there to be quite rigid so it doesn't like flip up all the time. The cushioning inside, so it's got cushioning padded at the top and padded at the back, so it doesn't feel uncomfortable when you're wearing it. And obviously you've got the chin strap here that you can adjust, and then obviously we've got this kind of like the microphone here that, you know, they speak into when they're piloting the X-Wings. That doesn't do anything. I don't know, I haven't really looked into this, whether or not the Black Series one that they released years ago, whether that had a microphone in there or not. I'm guessing perhaps it did, perhaps it didn't, because obviously the Stormtrooper helmet that I got, which was the first Black Series helmet that I got years and years ago, had a kind of like microphone piece inside the helmet to mimic you sounding like a Stormtrooper, and it was one of the worst kind of like pieces about that helmet. The microphone just didn't work. You didn't sound like a Stormtrooper at all. And then since then they've kind of like abolished that. And then if you've seen my review on the Darth Vader helmet that I got a couple of years back, you'll know that that just has sound effects, the breathing and stuff. It doesn't have like a voice modulator on there, because I don't think the technology is good enough for them to do it at the price that they do. But this is really, really cool. I literally feel as if I could pilot an X-Wing right now. So yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. So here's a closer look at the helmet in a bit more detail, with me kind of like showing it on the table where there's a bit more space. And then when we've done that, we'll come back and I'll show you some of the other things that I got on my holiday.
Luke, at that speed, will you be able to pull out in time?
Be just like Beggar's Canyon back home.
So here's a closer look of the helmet in a little bit more detail. Obviously you can see the various kind of like added on scuff marks. Now I don't think they're as detailed or as kind of like well done as probably what they would be for a Black Series, but you know, for what you're getting, which is essentially, you know, something that is $80, when the Black Series helmets are like £140, and obviously have I would say probably better paint jobs, but you know, I still think this is a wonderful paint detail that they have on it. If you go all the way around, there's no one bit that is not like kind of covered. You've even got these kind of like dirty kind of like scuff marks around here and here, so you know the helmet kind of like looks really used, and it is, like as I said, authentic to how the helmet appears in the films. And obviously you've got it all down the side here, and then you turn it obviously all the way around. I've still got the stickers on there. I will be taking those off at some point. And obviously this is the button that then gives you the sound effects that are on the helmet. So there you've got R2-D2. And there's quite a few sound effects. So obviously you've got 3 R2-D2 ones there, including all the pilots as well, and then Obi-Wan's voice. See, and you've got even Wedge there, Red 2. And more. So I think there's probably around about 12 to 15 sound bites on this, which is, I think, is really, really cool. Yeah. See, all the different red pilots. And then I think you're back to the beginning. Yeah.
Accelerate to attack speed.
Passing through the magnetic shield, yeah. So there you go. So if you've probably counted them, there's probably at least, with R2's got like 4 sound bites. There's probably at least like 12 to 15 good sound bites in there. So yeah, I just think this is brilliant. And obviously, like I said, the visor pops up. And here's a closer look inside. And as I said, when I put it on, you've got a nice bit of padding at the top there. And then this padding at the sides, which makes the helmet very, very comfortable when you're wearing it. So all in all, I think it's a brilliant piece of merchandise.
Watch yourself. Increase speed full throttle.
What about that tower?
You worry about those fighters. I'll worry about the tower.
So we're back from that look at the X-Wing helmet, and I think you'll agree it's a really, really cool piece. So some of the other things that I got, again, I already did this in a little quick preview video. This Black Series set, which is based on the Thrawn trilogy novels, which contains 4 figures there. If you cover the reflection, there you go. Which we'll be doing a obviously closer, more detailed review of. Now that was $99, which is a damn sight cheaper than what it is on the Hasbro Pulse UK website, which is the only place where you can get it in the UK. You can't get it on any other websites. And that actually works out at around about 80 quid. So I've saved myself £25 there because it was, it's 106, I think, on the Hasbro Pulse UK website. So £106, rate of exchange and everything, £80. But it didn't cost me anything, because when we booked the holiday, Disney gave us a £400 gift card to use for stuff in their stores. So I used a little bit of that money to get that bad boy. Also picked up this in the clearance store, the Disney clearance store that they have, which is in Point Orlando, and that was a very good $14.99, so it should have been $25. So that's Hera from the recent Ahsoka series, played by Ewan McGregor's wife. Something else I got from the Disney clearance store. I said I wasn't going to get a lightsaber. Yeah, I got a lightsaber. Is this. No, obviously, again, you'll see that it's still in its packaging, haven't opened it up, but with this green, like, Jedi Rebel symbol on there. This is actually Yoda's lightsaber. This is the Disney Legacy version, of which I've already got a couple. You cannot get this on the Disney store websites, either the UK or the US. It's only available, or was only available, in the actual Disney parks. And it should have been $250. And at the clearance store, it was $75, which again, when you work it out, it's probably just under 50 quid with the current rate of exchange. So I couldn't pass that up. So we'll do a video on that. Absolutely fantastic. Couple of other things that we got. Obviously, I finished my collection of thermal detonators. I've already got the Coke and the Diet Coke ones, but I finally got the Sprite one, which is kind of cool because they sell these as the drinks in Galaxy's Edge. And then finally, I got some glasses, these collector's glasses. Now I'm going to do another video on this because I actually got 5 of these last year, which are based on kind of like defunct rides that Universal Studios has since kind of like closed, bar one. So they did a glasses, these retro style kind of like glasses on the Back to the Future ride, the Jaws ride, Confrontation ride, and then they did one on the ET ride, which the ET ride, if you don't know, is the ride that's the only ride that was there from day one, from Universal Studios Orlando, opening back in 1990. It's the only surviving day one attraction. So this one obviously shows different like aspects of Universal Studios with ET on it. Kong Skull Island, which is the new version of the Kong kind of like ride. You've got Velocicoaster, you've got Hogsmeade from Harry Potter, you got the Minions, you got Transformers. So that's cool. And then I got 2 Halloween Horror glasses. Yes, we've missed out on Halloween Horror Nights again. Literally the day we came home was the day that it started, or the night that it started. So a bit of a shame that we didn't really time that well, but we will get to do Halloween Horror Nights at some point. So I got this Ghostbusters one, which is kind of cool, which obviously I'll do a short on this where I show it all the way around. Because Ghostbusters is one of the haunted houses this year, one of the IPs that they've got, and this Insidious one, which is another one of the IPs that they've got. I got that purely because the guy out of Insidious looks very much like Darth Maul. So there you go. It says obviously Halloween Horror Nights 2024. So I thought that was a cool little thing there. So there you go. That's a nice little overview of stuff that we've got coming up to review, and obviously the X-Wing helmet, which again, I can't thank my boy enough for a really, really kind gesture, and obviously he bought my partner something as well to say thank you to her for us continually like going on these lovely holidays.
Use the Force, Luke. Let go, Luke.
The Force is strong with this one.
Just one thing before we go. You'll notice that I didn't buy any Marvel merchandise. Now, there is a reason for that, and it's a very interesting one that after a bit of investigation, I found something out about why there's no real Marvel merchandise any longer at the Disney parks. And I think it warrants its own little video. So I'll be doing that, so look out for that very, very shortly. It's a very interesting piece, and it shows you kind of like the legalities of things that happen with IPs. So stay tuned for that. hope you enjoyed that video, and if you do, please leave us a like. It really does help out the channel. And also don't forget to hit that notification bell to be notified whenever we upload any brand new videos, and also hit that subscribe button if you've not already subscribed. Also, as I mentioned, it would be very, very generous of you if you subscribe to our sister channel, Bearded Geek Escapades. The link is in the description below. And also give Nick's channel, Only One Kenobi, Only One. Give his channel a look if you're into 3.75 vintage collection, retro collection, Star Wars action figures. One of the best channels around for that kind of content. So there you go. We still have loads more cool stuff to show you, as well as like future stuff coming up. But in the meantime, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you very, very soon on Bearded Geek Toy Reviews. Bye now.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.